Good morning. Welcome to everyone, those here in this space and those joining us on live stream. I'm Richard Davis, Worship Associate of the First UU Society of San Francisco. I'm joined on the chancel this morning by so many wonderful people, our amazing AV team, our music director, Mark Sumner, who will accompany our song leader, Ben Rudiak Gould. Our special guests this morning are the artists who make up the Compassion duo, pianist Joanne Kong and cellist Christoph Wagner. Joanne and Christoph are in the middle of a West Coast tour and are bringing their music and their spirit and their commitment to planetary healing to our service today. Welcome, Joanne and Christoph, and thank you for being here and leading us in worship today. We hope that you, here or on live stream, have an order of service you can follow so you can follow us along in worship. For those who are joining us on live stream, if you have any issues or problems at any time, please know that someone is monitoring the chat to answer any questions. A quick COVID note that masks are optional indoors now. However, expect that each of you will do what you need to do to take care of your own comfort and your own health. There is a mask-only section to my left on the side of the sanctuary if you would like that extra comfort. And so we begin our service on this Memorial Day weekend. Welcome to this hour together. Please join me in saying the words of the unison chalice lighting that are printed in your order of service. If you have your own candle or chalice at home, please feel free to light yours as we say these words together. We light this chalice with the light of truth, the warmth of love, and the fire of commitment. We light this symbol of our faith as we gather together. They told me to check the matches. They got me to check and see if they had something to light it on. Anybody? I don't know. I tried. There's a burnt match up here. This shows that somebody's able to light these things. There's a can. Oh, here. Yeah. You got to put up a match. No, let's. There we go. Thank you. Oh, this is a cooperative endeavor. Okay. Next time I'll remember to check for the striker. Thank you, everyone. And now, if you rise in body and spirit, if you are able, let us sing together our opening hymn, number 6 in the Gray Hymnal, Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts grow restless, let peace find Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
And now some brief invitations. For those of you who are here a lot will know that if you believe that, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. If this is your first time watching, thanks for joining us. You may receive our weekly newsletter via email, as well as the link to the order of service and the Sunday live stream every week. To make this happen, just fill out one of our connections forms. They are in the pews in front of you, as well as on the welcome table outside the sanctuary. They're also available through a link in the order of service or video description of today's service. The order of service lists upcoming events and links to opportunities to connect. Please engage in any or all that are of interest to you. This weekend, about 70 of our members are at the annual congregational retreat. Next week, we'll be here all together for our big multi-generational service to end the church year. It is also the Sunday for our annual congregational meeting, so we hope to see you all either here at the church or online. The agenda and annual reports will go out midweek this week, and so look for that in your email. Also, just to let you know about our offerings this Sunday, it's a special offering that will go to Swords to Plowshares, which is a nonprofit that supports veterans with everything from housing to medical care and legal advice. I myself am a veteran. I left college in May of 2014, and I entered the Army in July. At that point, I had never heard of Vietnam. During my 3 years of service, the names of the service members who died fill half the wall. When I was able, I went to the wall every year. For Memorial Day, that was established after the Civil War, is a day to remember those who never made it home. Memorial Day is not a day to celebrate veterans. It is a day to remember those others who didn't make it back. Why do we do that? Well, if you look at the World War I memorials or the memorial buildings that were built after World War I, you often see this quote, "Lest we forget." Memorial Sunday, it feels appropriate to take our offering in support of our veterans who did make it back. Thank you in advance for your gift. I believe that is all I wanted to call to your attention. Let us greet one another, and there will be a musical cue for when to return to your pews. Particularly if you see anyone that you don't know, please stop and say hello. Thank you, everyone. And if you would please join us in saying the words of our covenant. They are printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak the truth in freedom, and to help one another.
Skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land, by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol surja esperanza, fe, amor, verdad y belleza cantando de cada tierra, cada voz.
Good morning. Memorial Day weekend is this strange and beautiful weekend, a long weekend that is poised in some symbolic way as a kind of doorway to summer, with Labor Day, another 3-day weekend to mark the season's end. And it is a weekend that is made long by a day of remembrance of those soldiers lost in war. It is a weekend that brings up so many layers of history and current events, layers of loss, the work of healing, and the life that always goes on even after war to step into new seasons. Today's service is a service of music and reflection, and far more of music than of words. In part, that is because some things are beyond words and beyond what words can hold and heal. We all continue to hold Ukraine in our thoughts, a conflict rooted in division and the quest of one man for dominance and power. In war, a collective enemy is seen as the other, with a loss of our shared humanity, that we are individuals equally human and feeling. But there are moments when that line of separation is dissolved, such as the beautifully moving story of Ukrainians who took care of and fed a captured Russian soldier, helping him to contact his mother. In moments like these, we realize that we are connected in the most basic of ways. We all want to be loved, and the greatest gift we have is how we care for and share compassion with others.
Yeah, another way to think about Memorial Day in remembering those who didn't come back is also what can we learn and how can we show up ourselves as spiritual warriors. And I want to share like a personal story from my grandfather. I was so lucky that he did come back from the Second World War, but he did leave his right arm in Russia. So he came back and lived a very fulfilling rest of his life for many, many years without his right arm. And I really admire him for how he showed up for the world, for his family, for his community, for his colleagues, and for God to make an impact in the world and fulfill his purpose in the world. And I think this is such an inspiration for us today, Memorial Day weekend, to think about how we can show up as spiritual warriors and fulfill God's promise. And I think the seventh principle from the Unitarian faith, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are part of. It's such a beautiful way to think about how each of us can show up as spiritual warriors, respecting the beauty of nature, the beauty of creation, the beauty of everyone, of us, the beauty of all existence. So, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are part of, as a beautiful inspiration for this Memorial Day weekend.
The following is a reading titled 10,000 Baby Names. It was written by Catherine McTeague, former minister of the Unitarian Society of New Haven. When my youngest daughter was about 2 years old, she came across a tattered paperback on our bookshelves, 10,000 Baby Names. And for a little while, this was her favorite book. Drawn by the shining face of the baby on the cover, she brought it to me over and over and demanded that I read through the names. This was prelude to what was, at the time, her favorite story of all, how we chose her name. What's in a name? Always there is a story. You were named for a beloved relative, or contrarily, named after no one because maybe your parents wanted a clean break from family history. If you were a first son and your family went in for such things, you got to be called after your father and have Junior tacked on. If you were a daughter, you could be named for a virtue or aspiration, such as hope, serenity, or faith. Recalling some sweet romantic setting, your parents might have named you for their favorite Spanish or Italian village. Perhaps you carry the name of one of their heroes or heroines, or more whimsically, some favorite musician or movie star. Maybe you've ended up with an affectionate nickname born of a sibling's mispronunciation or some jackass thing you tried as an adolescent and never lived down. Always there is a story. In church on Sunday mornings, we read aloud the names of the American soldiers killed in Iraq or Afghanistan each week. Alone in my study the night before, I speak each name out loud and then wonder about the stories. I imagine these soldiers as the babies they once were, held in someone's arms at a baptism or naming ceremony. The proud relatives gathered around as the name was formally bestowed, and everyone beamed as the baby cooed or wailed or fidgeted. There was so much gladness and pride in each moment of naming, and not once did anyone imagine that the road their baby walked would end 18 or 20 years later in a mix of blood and dust halfway around the world. As part of a Witness for Peace on Memorial Day, a cairn of stones was built at a busy downtown intersection in Hartford, each stone bearing the name of a fallen American soldier or one of the tens of thousands of Iraqi and Afghani civilians who have died in these wars. How do you choose one name from thousands to symbolize so much carnage and loss? I finally brought 3 stones to the cairn, one for each of my own 3 children. Each stone bore the name of a child who had died on the birthday of one of mine. As I placed the stones, I wondered about their names. Always there is a story.
Yeah, another example of a spiritual warrior is Pablo Casals, who played music for the peace in the world, for the reconciliation among people and cultures and countries. And he played this piece at almost every concert. And so we are so grateful to be sharing that with you. And now I want to share another Unitarian principle, the fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And sometimes it's hard to understand why certain things happen to us, or why certain things play out a certain way we might not have expected. And just trying to figure out that with our mind and intellect might not really give us the peace and serenity. And for me, that free and responsible search for truth and meaning is to connect with our hearts and inner wisdom, to actually listen to God inside ourselves. And on the left-hand side of me, on the right-hand side for you, you can see the kingdom of God is within you. And today is actually Pentecost also. And in Germany, it's actually the most important Christian holiday. And I'm from Germany, so Pentecost has always been really, really important. And we celebrate it in Germany as a time of renewal, a new beginning. And I would like to share a little meditation with you to maybe reconcile with the past and open up for a new beginning. So let's take a inhale together and exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. Feel the surface you're sitting on. You can sink down even more. And last inhale. And exhale. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Keep breathing just normally, naturally. Follow your breath on the inhale and observe your breath on the exhale. The breath as an anchor for this present moment. And you can look back at this week, or maybe further than this weekend. Maybe there were any unexpected things or struggles or conflicts. And I invite you to just hand them over to your higher power, to the Holy Spirit. Surrender and let them go. With every exhale, let go even more. Freeing yourself from the bondage of the past. And letting go of any concerns for the future, letting go of the illusion of the future. You may arrive now just in the present moment, here and now, just this inhale, just this exhale. And I invite you to expand this present awareness from your breath towards your whole body. Feeling your entire head. Allow your eyes to relax, your jaw to relax, your shoulders may relax and become heavy. Your belly may relax. You can feel your hands resting on your laps, or whether they rest, softening your hands and palms and fingers. And feel your feet on the floor, feeling the contact to the ground, the contact to Mother Earth. Softening your toes, and you can imagine your toes melting into the ground. And you can imagine even going deeper, like roots, all the way down into the ground, into the earth. Like a tree, you're secured, strong, supported. Maybe you can feel your entire body now. Maybe you feel any vibration or pulsing. Just notice it. And experience this liveliness of your presence right now. And maybe this is also an opportunity to say thank you for this one breath you may take. Thank you for your heart beating. Thank you for your body. Thank you for your clothes, for this beautiful space, for the other people joining us here. Thank you for the car or the transportation which brought you here. And you can expand this gratitude for whatever you would like to thank for. And I invite you to take your hand onto your heart and just feel the warmth of your heart, the heart beating. And maybe this is the place where you can seek truth and meaning, connection with the Spirit in this present moment. We are going to stay in silence just for a few moments. I invite you to enjoy the liveliness and the gift, the blessing of this moment right now. Amen. Thank you so much.
And now we will take our offering for the organization Swords to Plowshares and its mission to support Bay Area veterans. If you are writing a check, please, on the memo, write today's date and special offering. If you are coming in from Livestream and you push donate, please indicate that this is for the special offering. Our offerings will now be both given and gratefully received.
Music, more than all other arts, creates a unique sensory pathway, a road to the inner self. It expresses grief and how we feel beyond words. It provides a ritual of healing through sound and an acoustic space for healing. It is our hope that by sharing the beauty of music today, that we can bring hope for a world of greater peace and a celebration of the commonalities that transcend our self-imposed divisions and conflicts. Maybe that's why Memorial Day is placed at the cusp of summer. We can honor those who have served and have the courage to envision a kinder world as we move forward.
And now, if you would rise in body and spirit as you are able, let us sing together our closing hymn, number 125, From the Crush of Wealth and Power.
From the crush of wealth and power, something broken in us all waits the Spirit's silent hour, pleading with a poignant call. Bind all my wounds again. Even now our hearts are weary of the friend we need so much. When I see the pain you carry, shall I with a gentle touch bind all your wounds again? When our love for one another makes our burdens light to bear, find the sister and the brother, hungry for a feast we share. Bind all their wounds again. Every time our spirits languish, terrified to draw too near, may we know each other's anguish, and with love that casts out fear, bind all our wounds again.
Yeah, as you might have noticed, we didn't complete that last piece. We pretty much ended in the middle, but we're going to complete it with another composer from Czechoslovakia in a moment. But before we do that, I think this is such a beautiful space here. And on my right side, on your left side, is this beautiful quote: "What does the Lord require of thee but to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God?" To do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with the God. And I think this brings us back to the idea of us, every one of us being a spiritual warrior, being an agent of God, and to walk the path together with God in glory and celebration. And one of the most beautiful stories I can think of right now is that when we transcend to the next stage of our life and look back at what we did on this planet, and there's the story that the person sees two pairs of footprints along the journey of the life, and then there was one part, and that was the part where the person said, "This was the hardest part in my life, and I only see one pair of footprints. Why didn't you come with me, God?" And then God says, "Well, I was with you, I was carrying you." And I really love this story, and I think this quote, "To walk humbly with thy God," reminded me of that story, and thank you for letting me share that with you. And we're going to share another piece, as I mentioned, and with this piece, we hope to also instill that doing this humble walk with God can also be a celebration and can also be fun and joy. And so I hope you enjoy this next piece. Thank you so much.